Simon set up all these tools for me to do our project today. Today we're going to remove the Valvetronic eccentric shaft, and we're going to take the Valvetronic motor out again, and I'm going to show you an awesome trick to get this done quickly without touching any of the springs on top. We're going to play with some fun tools. I got a vernier caliper, I have my tap and die set because we need to figure out what bolts for you to use, and I'll show you how to do that. Zion and I need your help to reach a personal goal, and what we need your help with is to join either my YouTube membership. My goal of being able to provide you with some great videos. You can help two different ways. You could join the YouTube membership, or you can go to the description and go to the Spot Fund link. You can be a patron to help me reach the goal of opening up my own shop. Could definitely use your help. I'm just trying to get a modest 100,000 to get off the ground and get everything started. So that's $10 for 10,000 people or $100 for 1,000 people. But whatever you can do to help, large or small, it will help me reach that goal, and I'll keep you guys updated. Hey, Mario's still using the N20 powered wheelbarrow. Think next week though I'm gonna have to throw it on an engine stand. So I already have the valve cover off, so if you need some steps to remove the valve cover, I'll put a link right there. Everyone, this is the first time I'm pulling off an eccentric shaft using this trick method that I'm gonna show you. And hopefully nothing goes wrong, but we're gonna find out how it works. Normally the intermediate lever springs all have to be removed with a big special tool that clamps on so that you can take this bolt off here, because there's a lot of tension on this spring. So we're going to skip this entire step using the trick I'm gonna show you. Yes, I don't have a digital vernier caliper. I have a real vernier caliper. You need a couple of extra hardware pieces to do this trick. And I'm gonna just tell you what you need because I already measured it, and you can see right here, if you're good at reading this too, we're actually at 30 millimeters. That is 30 millimeters. The next thing to do is figure out thread pitch. So using the gauge that comes in the tap and die set, I can check this, and this is a 1.0 thread pitch, and I can verify that using my die and screw this into the die. And this also tells me on it that it's a 6 millimeter bolt. So you need a 6 millimeter, 1.0 thread pitch that is 30 millimeters on the bolt side. I'm going to go over some of these steps quick for taking the Valvetronic motor out. If you want the full steps of that video, I'll put it up here in the corner for you, but we do have to take this E8 oiler out, so I'm going to pop that off right there, 10 Newton meters. Pop that out, and this just pops right out of the Valvetronic motor. You see it goes right in this passageway right here. Now there's two end stops, one here and one on the other side of the intake vanos. We have to take this one off right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to use an adjustable wrench and turn this, and then using an Allen right on top here of the Valvetronic motor, if you go straight down, there's an Allen key, and that's going to hold it from spinning right up against its own housing. All right, here we go. Rotate, put this in. Let's see which way it's going to turn. And now it is locked in place. Go ahead and take that 11 millimeter stop out. Going to go ahead and alleviate the tension. Take that end stop out and just let this come all the way down so that the Valvetronic motor, just keep rotating, is separated. If it doesn't want to separate, you can use the Allen and turn it by hand at the central bolt. Now we can take the Valvetronic motor out. I could definitely use some better lighting equipment, but I'm doing the best I can, guys. All right, so we have 3 T30s. Let's get them out. And the eccentric shaft motor comes out. You do have to turn it and make sure that the gaskets aren't in your way. That's what happened to me last time too. Turn it and we're out. Well, with that sucker out, we just have 4 caps. Now remember, you can do this on the N51, N52 also. So I'm going to come over here to the back of the camshaft, and I'm just going to click and let it rotate. You can see right there, there's kind of a happy spot where some of the tension is relieved, and it just floats right there. You can see I can move it by hand. So that is our position to zip this baby out without touching all these springs on top here. Now keep in mind when you're going back together, you're going to want to have this in the same location. Here we go. All right, so here's the trick. We're going to loosen all of these up. Probably crack them free first, huh? Hopefully I can get my tool in here. Oh man, too big. I need something different. All right, I have to switch to my go-to Torx kit. That's so much better. Sneak that baby right in there. Oh yeah. Now I can go ahead. That's tightening, not loosening. And loosen all of these up. Here we go. I didn't get a good bite on that one, so let me put my Torx bit back in and give it a love tap to seat it. Look at that, I didn't even expect to show you that trick, but if you end up stripping a Torx a tiny bit, and hopefully it won't strip more, you can usually love tap it in. Oh, there she is. Okay. Beautiful. Using a Persuasion Tool. Now I'm probably going to speed this up, but you can get the general idea. So the idea is going to be to loosen a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. You can see my tension moves. Right, that one's tight again, that one's tight, that one's still loose. So you can kind of tap them and figure out which ones are the ones that have tension. And just back them out a tiny bit. A little bit at a time. One cap off. 2. They're gonna fall off on me. Okay, and you want to put these back in the same location that you found them. So I'm just gonna place that down there for now. Get off of that. Look at that. We just removed the Valvetronic eccentric shaft without touching any of those springs. The real trick is going back together. Ooh, a little bearing cap fell off. So cute. All right, let's take a look behind here. There's some cool stuff. But I'm going to first arrange all these caps. Out of the way. All right, here's the eccentric shaft. We did it. Nothing exploded. There it is right there. Let me put that aside. I'll show you that in a minute. I'm getting oil all over my camera. All right, so these caps have these cute little bearings in them. So you're going to want to replace these little bearings, and they just pop out. We want to make sure these caps go back in the same location. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to bring them over to a shop towel and lay them all out. Look, BMW thought of everything. They're actually stamped number 3 and number 4. You might not be able to see that with the oil on it, but they're actually stamped with a number. That's 3, that's 4. You can't mix them up. All right, everyone, look at that. They're out. You can actually see here's the springs for the intermediate levers. This is the intermediate levers right here, and here's your rockers, and there's your springs for your intake valves. Let me see they're resting back there. Now I wouldn't want to touch any of this. I don't want it to move. I want that spring tension to stay exactly where it is. So I'm not going to touch anything else there, except I do have to take the other side, these little bearing caps off here as well. They make oil resistant cameras? I don't know. All right, so we have to take these guys off. You just have to slide them to the side, and hopefully I'm not blocking the view. I'm just going to use a plastic tool and just catch the edge of the bearing and pop the bearing off. Now take a look. It has a little locator on the back of the bearing right there. So when you pop it back in, I don't have to take all of them off to show you. You just know that these should be replaced. Actually, you can see there's a little wear mark on some of them, right? You can see there's a little wear mark on the bottom. I'm going to pop this back in, and they satisfyingly click back into place. Listen. You probably couldn't hear that, but I felt it. It's a little click and it's back into place. So you would do that with all of these and on the eccentric shaft. The bearing isn't on the eccentric shaft, it's actually on the bearing cap. And right here, do the same thing. You would just push it off to the side, pop it off, and put a new one on, nice and simple. All right, and they're numbered so we know which way is up and everything. All right, so on your eccentric shaft, if you're replacing this, you're gonna get new roller bearings. Right, you're going to want to replace the roller bearings. I think that does not come as part of the new eccentric shaft. So take a look at this. These little guys come off pretty easy too. There's a separation in them. You just have to find the separation, which is right there, and they just pop off. And they pop back on. It's as simple as that. There's my little roller bearing kit. And you see it's like a little Pac-Man. And it just goes back over when you replace it. Just gonna pop that back on, and you would replace all of these when you replace your eccentric shaft. You're gonna wanna check for wear. This one does have some abnormal wear. So whenever you're replacing a Valvetronic motor, I would recommend doing the eccentric shaft unless there's very low mileage on the car. Because you'll put it all back together and then it'll try to do its test loop. And the new part, even though this looks okay, often doesn't like to mesh with the new worm gear on the new part. And then you're going to take it apart again. All right, everyone, let's pretend that this is nice and shiny and new. Hard to do, I know, but. All right, so this is going to go back on, and the same thing, we're going to want to rest it about where we took it off. So you can see when I put this on, it's hitting this spot right here first, right? These are where the bearings are, right at these rollers. So this is where I have the most spring tension, right there. So I'm just gonna let that rest right there, and we're gonna go get those special tools that I told you about. I have all my eccentric shaft caps handy. Just make sure they're in the right location for 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's 2, that's 1. Just gonna place them there. And we're going to use the special bolts that I told you about, which what we need is just bolts that are a little bit longer than the ones that came out. So I'm going to just rest this in its location where it's about going to go. Get my number 2 cap and make sure I'm facing the right direction. I'm just going to put my cap in place. And I'm going to just take my special tool and start it. Like so at the top, and that's going to stay in place now, and I'm going to start it on the bottom. You can see what I'm doing here, folks. This is the game. So I don't know if you know what flat rate is. Flat rate means that if I can do a job faster than what the normal labor time is, then a technician makes time off of that job. Technicians really only make good money when they're being super efficient. That way they can get more jobs and make more money. So this is a trick to do this repair faster. This is not the correct way, but it works. All right, so I got my other special tool bolt, and I'm gonna start another one if I can. And there's a lot of tension back here, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to fully start it, but I think I got it a tiny bit. Let's see if I can catch a thread on the bottom too. Yep, barely. Yep, so I did catch a thread on the bottom. I'm gonna screw that in. Make sure I caught a thread on top. Yep, okay. I got one there. Now this one I'm not gonna be able to get on, I think, but I'll see. All right, so I'm gonna take this one, and if I put it in place now that this is all supported by the others, I can actually catch a thread on the top here. And let's see if I can catch one on the bottom. Probably not, but maybe. Yep, oh yeah. All right, so this is my most tension here. You can see. So I can use my hand and actually push backwards on the spring and tighten them up a little bit more just to make sure I got a couple of threads there. Now this one doesn't want to move because this has the most tension. But now that I've caught those, and you don't have to do all of them, you're just going to want to go in segments and I do need a 10 millimeter now. All right, I'm just curious to see if I take the one that has the least tension, can I use the existing bolts and start those? And it looks like the answer is a yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and start those for some extra support. And just like how we took it off, we're going to walk it back on. So I got my 10 now. I'm gonna go ahead and just figure out where I have no tension to more tension, and I'm gonna slowly bring them all back together. Here we go. Got to switch bits for that one. All right, so I'm supported very well on these two right here. This one's already in with the correct bolts. I'm gonna go ahead and take the two far ones out. I'm gonna take one out off the top. I'm gonna install the correct bolt. So cool. Guess what the torque spec is? 10 Newton meters. Let's see. Well, I'm not there yet. Oh, yep, I'm on. So you tighten all your bearing caps here to 10 Newton meters. All right, now that that's all set, we do a tension check. Just go ahead and move it by hand just to make sure it feels right. Now if it doesn't feel right, just back these off a tiny bit and try to recenter everything, and then re-torque these if you do run into a problem. But you can see we're good here. So, all right, now that that is all set, we have to put the Valvetronic motor back in. Oop, that's that spring tension. So I have to rotate this all the way so that this is straight up and down, just like when we started. Take the Valvetronic motor, and I'm gonna just put it in and then rotate it back into place, and I'm gonna put these guys in. These three are also 10 Newton meters. Gonna rotate my shaft back into my motor. So sometimes you can use this to engage it, and sometimes you have to use the Allen to walk the eccentric shaft slowly back onto the gear, the worm gear. Using your Allen right here, you go ahead and turn this until you get really good meshing between the two gears. Once I'm engaged well, I can go ahead and use my adjustable wrench to rotate the shaft all the way over to the top setting. And then I'm going to use the Allen again to hold it in place so I can put my end stop in. All right, put my end stop in right here. That's a 10 Newton meter also. And what am I gonna say? Man, what an awesome trick. So thank you to Marcin for sharing this awesome tip so I can share it with all of you guys. This end stop is also 10 Newton meters. Go to test it out and it don't work. You gotta remember to take your Allen out. Don't leave that in. Obviously you won't be able to put your valve cover on, but you could just do a quick check. Everything is good. And I'm gonna rest at that end stop. Okay, I'm gonna put my gasket back on. These are one-time use for these buckets right here. I have the video where I pulled those buckets out. And then we have to put our oil spray nozzle back on. This just slides through here, locks, or just pushes into the top of the Valvetronic motor, and we tighten this guy down too. I don't even have to say it. 10 Newton meters. All right, at that point, you just go ahead and put your valve cover on and you're good to go. So Zion says, thank you for watching. I'm gonna take these gloves off and wipe my camera off. Man, I made it filthy today. Thank you, and please subscribe to my Ask the Car Experts YouTube channel. Please, I'm asking for your patronage if you can
Please help me out to reach my goals and come join me through the process. Thank you guys. I appreciate you very much.